Panama, the United Kingdom, Pittsburgh. Anti-Semitism, racism, and intolerance has no geographic boundaries, and it is truly a phenomena that is experiencing itself worldwide. And the world can and is often a very uncertain place. I'm going to invite them, I'll introduce all four of them at once, but we have four speakers. The first two alumni of the March of the Living who have been participating in the program this week, and then two other speakers to really address the global phenomena and some of the challenges we're facing in these countries. So first you'll hear from Alberto Levi from Panama, a March of the Living alumni, community leader, and activist. Following that, from Izzy Lenga from the United Kingdom, March of the Living alumni, community, and political activist. After that, you'll hear from Rabbi Danny Schiff, who is the scholar in residence at the Foundation and the Jewish Federation of Pittsburgh. And finally, Dr. Zohar Raviv, international world-renowned educator and the International Vice President of Education for Taglit Birthright Israel. Alberto.
My name is Alberto Levi, and on the 22nd of November of 2018, I was subject to an anti-Semitic attack in Panama. It all started with anti-Semitic comments of the Secretary of the Panamanian Congress, who on an interview said that Jews were cheap, among other comments. I took it very personally, and besides the activities and the reaction we took as a community, I personally, on my Twitter account, condemned his anti-Semitic comments. My tweet went viral, and after a few exchange of communications in the Twitter, somebody posted a comment that basically said, "I wish Alberto Levi would have been 80 years ago in Auschwitz and would have died with the rest of the 6 million Jews." Not only that, he even took the time to Google me, take a picture of myself, and Photoshop me into a picture of Jews in the door of Auschwitz. The fact that living in the 21st century in Panama, when the Jewish community is thriving and is as strong as probably nowhere else, where we can walk as Jews wearing a kippah without any problem, where we have almost 35 kosher restaurants, 7 synagogues, and a Jewish life and a Jewish quality of life as we deserve and as everybody should deserve. The fact that in Panama, somebody like me was subject to this type of attack really marked a difference on me. There has been, Panama, it's a country like every other country in Latin America, where unlike Europe, unlike in the Middle East, unlike even in the US, thankfully it is not something that is the anti-Semitic attack is a day-to-day business. However, we have seen that lately it has been increasing. Lately, our enemies have started to organize themselves. Our enemies have started to act smartly, with resources, with funds, in the universities, in the streets, in the demonstrations, in the political arena. They're everywhere. Painting swastikas, asking for us Jews to leave the country where our grandparents and great-grandparents have been living. Exactly what happened here in Poland 80 years ago is happening now in all of our countries. Because the fact that in Panama, 3 years ago, somebody decided to paint a swastika and to equalize the state of Israel to the Nazi regime in a wall 10 meters across from the synagogue, that's an attack on me. He decided specifically to do it 10 meters from the synagogue, where he knew all the Jews of the community would walk to the synagogue as a normal Jew like they do every day, but this day will be different. This is not like any other swastika that somebody could write in a random street. This is a directed attack on me, on my community, and on every single Jew standing here on earth. So, Dr. Rappel was saying that we are the present. It is our generation who will decide what, how, and when we will fight anti-Semitism. And today, here in Poland, 80 years from the Holocaust, 6 months from the attack I personally was affected, I call each of you to join me on the fight of anti-Semitism. Because it's not enough to come to the March of the Living. It's not enough to study and learn about the Holocaust. We must fight. We must act. We must take this fight in our arms and fight and act now. Not tomorrow, not the day after, now. Today is the day. I called you upon to whatever you decide to do. It doesn't matter if you do it alone. It doesn't matter if you do it in social media. Each of you can decide how are you going to do it. But we need to fight back. We need to fight back against racism, intolerance, bigotry, regardless whether that attack is directed specifically to us as Jews or to any other single person. Because unfortunately, we know what happened 80 years ago. And it's our obligation as Jews, as humans, and as members of the present generation to be sure that this never happens again. Thank you.